I didn't really like spring. I mean, I don't like summer either, really. But at least summer is passable because you know that fall's around the corner. But with spring, you just know it's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. Okay. So I have some new products to try today, but really most of what I have today has already been out. We're kind of in a little bit of a lull now that the Sephora sale's over and before the Nordstrom sale starts in the summer. So I thought today what would be fun, because it's spring and everybody loves spring, is to do a couple of like pastel themed looks. So if that sounds good to you, then like, subscribe, follow along, use my links, la da da da, unsolicited advice on Instagram and YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my Merit 1990 brow pencil. So I have had less excitement in the past few days, which has been nice, because if you followed along, you know that like my car was stolen a few weeks ago, and I had before that a move, and it's just been like one thing after another. And so to feel a little bit more settled, knock on wood, well, or particle wood, or whatever this vanity's made of from Wayfair, you know, maybe it's gonna simmer down a little bit right now, which would be nice. I still am looking to like meet some people here in Oklahoma City. I went to a street festival thing the other day, which was nice. Didn't really meet anybody, but it was nice to learn more about my neighborhood. So that's cool. Okay, so we need to start with a primer. Now I have my Pat McGrath 001 Essence on. I use that almost daily, and I know that she's come out with a new cream version, and so I'm excited about that, but it hasn't come in yet. So I'm going to just start with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin, and this is in the newer color, the pink one. And I like this primer a good amount because it does provide a lot of hydration and glow. So I'm gonna just put that on. My skin is so dry. I need to do a chemical peel tonight because I shaved today, and so now it's very dry. Today's Easter. So yeah, I don't really celebrate Easter, but my parents came over, so that was nice, I guess, and I got to see them. So yeah. Okay, so we'll get that on. You know, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the base today because, yeah, I'll be more careful with my makeup and my eye makeup, and hopefully it won't fall everywhere. Famous last words. So I have my Forever Dior in 2N concealer. I wish that they would come out with a Forever Nude concealer, because I really do like, where are my brushes? I really do like the new Forever Nude foundation, but this one's fine. It's just a little bit more matte. If it can cover up the redness that's going on my nose and my shaving mistakes, then I guess it's a good product. Just gonna take a little Sonia Krushik brush. I don't know, for concealers and things like that, I do have some Rephr concealer brushes, but I tend to use the Sonia Krushik ones, the ones that are a little bit less expensive from Target, because it can be a little bit rougher to clean concealer out of a brush than eyeshadow. This is a really good color match. For brightening. So So yeah, things have been, knock on wood, going well. I'm afraid to jinx it. My best friend is supposed to come this upcoming weekend, and I have another friend who's supposed to come. And I've really been enjoying my team at work, so I'm just trying not to jinx it. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my Dior, like I said, Forever Hydra Nude, and this is in 2.5N. I have the concealer in 2N, so I think that this works really well. And I'm just going to shake it a little bit and then put a couple of pumps on the back of my hand. This is a very lightweight concealer, but I wouldn't necessarily describe it as thin. I mean, it's not running per se. It's not like a Pat McGrath, but I enjoy it nonetheless. And I've got my Refer Liquid number 3. This is kind of a really nice natural finish. I know that a lot of people say the Givenchy is very similar, and I would agree. I have both. I think it's just a personal preference. I mean, I think they're both really good. This one's maybe a little bit glowier, and maybe the Givenchy has a tad more coverage. I don't know. It's splitting hairs. What is that on my... God, I have some under eye spots. That's attractive. I always wonder about my 9/12 viewers. Like, where are y'all? What do y'all do for a living? I would like to know that. I can't even imagine what it must be like to be like a Patty Alonso or a Kinky Sweat or, you know, those people who have thousands of viewers. I can't even imagine what that's like. Although I will say I would like some of the product, because having done my taxes again this year, I see exactly what I spend on beauty, and that's terrifying. Okay, I'm gonna set my under eyes before I go any further, and so I'm just gonna grab, what do we want to do? I'm gonna grab one of these Rose Ink highlighter brushes because they work really well. And I'm going to make sure that that concealer has now locked in, which it has. And I'm going to just pat it a little bit to make sure that there's no creasing. It looks good. And I have the new Givenchy Prisme Libre pressed powder. And I have mine in 3. And I really like this powder. And so I'm going to set my under eye. I know a lot of people get really excited around spring, but I'm a fall-winter kind of person. I know with my bubbly personality, that would come to as a surprise. Okay. So I've set my under eyes, and so I'm going to go in with my Westman Atelier contour stick, and of course this is my favorite in the shade Biscuit. I think it's the best one on the market, and they do have that new powder version, which is also very good. I sometimes like to use that to set the cream product, but today I'm just going to use this because I want to use, because I haven't used it that much on camera, the Westman Atelier Bronzing Drops. So I'm just going to put this in as a contour. And as Miss Westman herself says, you're supposed to work up with that. I went a little low on this side, but I'll correct it with the bronzer. You know, those of us without a hairline, this is one of the trickiest parts, because if you don't have a hairline, you have nothing to blend into. So you kind of end up having to do this a little bit just to fan it out, thin it out. And so then I'm going to go under here and I'm going to remove, 10 years from under my chins. I overheard my father say to my mother, "He's getting so gray," which was lovely. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my Victoria Beckham contour wand, and this is in, I think this is travertine or marble. I think it's marble. It's the darker one, just to do my nose. But it's also, you can use a little bit on your lips to get a little volume. And yeah, I think that's what I'll do. It is the perfect product for nose contour. That being said, I mean, you can use it anywhere to contour. It's just the price prevents you from wanting to use it everywhere because you'd run out so fast. Okay, so I'm going to prep my lips with the Dr. Dennis Gross Plump and Repair Lip Treatment. I got the larger size of this at the Sephora sale because I've really enjoyed this product. I find it works best if I put it on when I've got about 10 minutes before I'm going to put on a lip product so that it has time to seep in. It does burn a little bit, but it's not bad. Okay, so the bronzing drops from West Atelier. I really like these. You just have to shake them violently, apparently. So let me grab this and put a few of these down. They kind of remind me a little bit of the Armani bronzing drops, which I also really like. The difference is these are matte. So it just kind of is a personal preference, but they blend really nice. So I'm just gonna kind of warm myself up here a little bit. They are matte, but they're not muddy, which is really cool. I wouldn't put them directly on the face. I don't even know how you would put them directly on the face. I like that little bit of a sunburn look, so I'm gonna do that. And then just a little, you know, where the sun would normally hit you. This is in the lightest shade, which at the time I wanted shade number 2 because I thought that this was going to be too light, but I actually think for this time of year, it's pretty perfect. Now, there's a couple of weeks in the summer where I'm warmer, like when I come back from vacation, because I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm a big tennis fan, so I go to the US Open every year. And when I come back, I am browner, but that's really just like 2 to 3 weeks of that color, and then it fades. So that looks nice. So I have some new blushes. I am a huge fan of the Armani liquid blushes. Well, they have come out with the new Luminous Silk cheek tints. Those are the ones I love. They came out, I believe, last year. Well, now they've come out with ones that are a little bit sparkly, a little bit more luminous. So I picked up 3 of them. One of them is bubblegum pink. I'll never wear that. But I picked up 3 shades. I have 42S, which is kind of a terracotta. And I'll show you what that looks like. These are a blush highlighter, so there's some shine there, which I think is nice. And then I picked up, this is 62.5, which I believe is their Mauve equivalent. It's like a cool mauve color. And then finally, 50.5, which is the signature of theirs. They have 50 in the matte version of these. They have it in their powder version highlighters. It's this peachy pink color that's a signature of theirs. And this one's got a metallic kind of shift to it. So these are fun. So I think what I'm gonna do is, obviously the terracotta one is not gonna go with today's look. So I'm gonna grab, well, today's looks. I plan on doing 2 looks. We'll see. So I'm gonna grab the 62.5 one and put it up higher. put that down with a brush. It's kind of a blush highlighter. I actually have a relatively new highlighter too that I'm going to put on, or new to me. But you can see that's a pretty color. And then I'm going to do their signature, that 50.5 on the cheek. This one is lighter. It is in the matte too, so you can actually put on more. It's pretty forgiving. And you could build this up if you wanted. But that peach into that mauve is a nice kind of like ombre. That looks nice. Just blend that in a little bit. So I have a new highlighter. It's not new. The line came out last year, and I got the purple one, and I loved it. And so during the Sephora sale, I picked up Opal from Gucci. These are their like putty highlighters. A lot of people don't like these. And I think what I figured out is they're using highlighter brushes, and you can't use them because it's such a putty texture. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a putty that you have to use something denser. So what I like to do is grab it on my finger. This is an Opal color, which is really pretty. I love the purple one I have. This is a color that's kind of reminiscent of Peau de Pêche by Westman Atelier. And so I place it like with a finger first, and then grab a more dense brush. I'm just gonna use my foundation brush, but wipe it off, and place that in. And I find that with a denser brush, it does a nice job of laying the highlighter down. Because with a regular highlighting brush, because of the putty texture, it just won't pick it up. But you can see there, like that looks really nice. Now if I want to go back in more, I can go in with that denser brush and pick up some and just kind of go over the areas. Now there, you cannot say that this highlighter, if used properly, does not have a glow, because look at that, that's crazy. So I'm gonna try to work that in a little bit more over here and even it out a little bit, because I went a little low with that. But that is a beautiful glow. I like that. My lips are burning now. So I'm gonna go in, and that also, with that, was a set at Sephora, and it came with one of the Gucci glosses. Their packaging is so nice. I haven't tried it yet. This is in the color 4086, but I will try it in a future video. I've never tried a Gucci gloss product. Okay, so for the lip, because they are a burn-in, I'm gonna take this off. That hot. And I've got my Fenty Beauty liner. I just grabbed one that's a little bit darker. I have a very light colored lip product, so I wanted something that was a little darker and rosier. This is the Traced Out Lip Liner, and this is in the color Thugs Blush 2. The names crack me up. So I'm just gonna line with this. This is a rose color. It's not as purple as Riri, her signature color, but it's really beautiful. And I'm actually gonna go up a little bit so that I can get more of it on the lip, more color. And I'm gonna overline and try not to do what I just did. That's the problem with these liners though. I like them a lot, but they're very slippy. I tend to like wooden liners more because you don't get that little issue. But I'm just gonna grab my concealer brush and take that off where I went too high up. nice. And then I have the Chanel, the double-ended, the best lip product on the market. I like these. I like the Dramatiques from Pat McGrath, but these do not move. And because I got something so kind of dark down, but I want to do a pastel look, I grabbed Mary Rose, which is a very light pink, peach color. Can't tell if it's metallic. I don't think it is. So if you've never used these before, these are great. You put the base down. You can do 2 coats if you want more color. Let it sit for about a minute, and then put the clear coat on top. It will not move. Like, you have to use a makeup remover to get it off. It's a great product. You do have to reapply the gloss through the night, but you don't have to reapply the color. Yeah, that's a pretty color with that liner. You can see that it creates an ombre effect by using a lighter liquid lipstick. And most liquid lipsticks are very dry, not these. I'm going to do a second coat. Like I said, once it dries down, and you put the clear coat on top, it ain't moving. Now, one thing you can do is you need to wait about a minute. You'll know because it'll start to feel very tacky, and that's when you put the gloss on. But I'm actually going to grab a little brush because that's a little bit, even for me, a little harsh, the difference. So I'm going to fan that in. Remember, we're supposed to be doing a spring look here for all those people that love spring. Not me. Okay, that's better. It doesn't have that harsh, like, 90s line on it. And of course, that's going to go away when I put the gloss on it anyway. So it's been about, I don't know, what, a minute? And they are sticking to each other. That's when you know it's ready for the gloss. So then you can go in with the gloss side. It's a really nice, just simple gloss too, but what it does is it has some agent that locks it in. And then it's good to go. It will not come off on glasses. It will not come off on a napkin. You cannot get it off without makeup remover. Now, obviously, you will have to gloss again, but you don't have to do the lip again. There's a little bit where that liner moved. That's one thing I'm not a huge fan of those liners for. I like them a lot. I like the colors a lot. And I like them as kind of a lipstick liner. But as just a pure liner, you can't get that pure edge. But today I wanted something softer anyway. So let's go in with eyes. What do we want to do with eyes? So I grabbed, it's spring. So why not do something springy? Let me grab some brushes from our friend Sonia. And I grabbed my Rare Beauty primer. And I'm going to put this down. And I thought, when I think spring, YSL has a palette or two, like the Valentine's palette that came out this year. That would be a good spring palette. Betty from Lisa Eldridge is a great spring palette. I'm trying to think of what else is a really good spring palette. Retro Glam from Natasha Denona, and I guess Bloom if you are inclined. and Petalmorphosis, obviously, is a great spring-summer palette. But I wanted to go with the classic, which when I think spring, there's nothing springier than Natasha Denona's pastel palette. Now, I don't know if you can still get this. I think it comes on her website every so often, but you can obviously go on like Marikai or something like that and get it. A lot of people don't like this palette. I do. I think it's a really cool palette. I don't use it a ton because it's a spring palette, obviously. It's very pastel, but I thought we could do 2 looks today with it and see what we can come up with, because it's been a long time since I've used it. So I'm going to go in on the one side, and I'm going to go in with, what do we want to do? I'm going to go in with Bubble, which is a blue periwinkle color. It's very pale, but I'm going to put that on my crease, which it looks very intimidating in the container, but as you see, if you use a big fluffy brush, it's not bad at all. You just give it like a wash of this periwinkle blue. If you want something more defined, you obviously can go in with a denser brush. So that's what I'm going to try to do now, because I want to darken up this corner out here. And I just want to deposit a little bit more color. I'm also going to take it and run it along the bottom. Nothing too intense. It is a spring look nonetheless. So intense is not necessarily what you want to go for, but it's pretty. I mean, it's a pretty blue color. For the lid, the main part of the lid, I think I'm going to do this limoncello color, which is kind of my worst nightmare. It's a yellow color, but you know, we can try it and see how it turns out. I might hate this. I'm sorry if I do. But I like the idea of yellow and blue. Okay, right off the bat, I'm missing like fall colors. This is not my speed. But you know what? We're gonna do it because it's important. This is giving me like Louis Vuitton spring summer, what was that, 2012 or 11, the year they were all on the carousel. I'm going to grab a little bit more of that limoncello color and just run it under into that blue. This might be the softest eye look that I've done, or it's not my thing. But it's spring, and people love spring, so we're supposed to pretend that we love it too. Now, if I wanted this to be more intense, I could obviously put down like a clear glue or something. Okay, now for the inner corner, there is a fantastic inner corner color in here called Illusion, which I wish she would include in other palettes because it's a white, but it has a pink duochrome kind of color to it. So I'm going to put that on the inner corner. I feel like she's done, maybe in Bloom, there was something kind of like this, but I actually think this one is better. And I'm going to put that under my lash too, or under my brow. So yeah, there's that. Now it needs a liner, obviously. I'm trying to think of what I have that would work really well with it. I don't know if Victoria Beckham, she have like a light pastel liner? She has like electric blueberry, but I think that's too blue. Pink? Can we try try it? Okay, I want to try it and see if I hate it. It is blue. This is a color that's available on shop.com. It's been sold on our website forever, but it is available on shop.com. What I'm doing is going very lightly and drawing a very thin line because I don't want this blue to take over. And I'm just going to create the tiniest little wing with it from about the inner third out. And that way, if I would go in thick with this, it would be too dark, I think. But I think that looks really nice for, spring look. Okay, other eye. What do we want to do? I think we have to commit to spring, so I'm going to grab another color. Let's go with Risk, which is a seafoam green color. The colors in here remind me a lot of the colors that are in Circo Loco. This is a very intense green. I guess I've never noticed how intense this is. And this is just like a Sephora brush. It's nothing fancy. But there's some minty colors like this in Circo Loco. So on this one, I want to play on this mint color, but I also want to pair it with something deeper, like a darker purple. So I'm going to grab the color Bora, which is a kind of purpley fuchsia color. I'm going to put that down here. This is one of those cream to powders that she doesn't really do anymore, and they don't pick up particularly well on synthetic brushes, but I don't want to pull out my rubbers right now. And I'm going to merge that purple with that green. I'm way out of my comfort zone here, people. Okay, I'm going to go back in with that brisk color on the bottom. God, that is pigmented. What is that formula? Is this just her creamy matte? Doesn't say. I'm gonna have to look that one up. That's intense. So on the lid, we have some choices. I think I'm gonna go in with a duochrome called Duet in the back, and it's a beautiful kind of mint green to purple duochrome, so it'd be perfect for this look. And just put that over the majority of the lid. These are like kind of color blocky. Now for the front portion of the lid, I'm going to grab Mint Frost, which is a metallic light mint color. And I'm just going to place this on the front third. That is springy. Now I'm going to go back in with Duet and just merge the two. I want Duet to be the more prominent color here. It's a really pretty color. She hasn't done like a really good, duochrome in a while. She has some that I really like in My Dream, but of course that's a fall palette. We're not doing that today. Okay, I know what I can use with this. So I'm going to use the Victoria Beckham liner. And you know what? Nope, we got to go in first with the inner corner. I don't know how I forgot that. And so we're going to go in with, you know what? I'm going to, because I did the other one with Illusion, I'm going to grab Dainty, which is a metallic, super sparkly pink. And I'm just going to put that on the inner corner. Everyone always wants to do white, and I get it. Or like a super light color, but something like this pink is kind of cool on there. As long as it's light, it works. And I'm gonna bring it over a little bit. I'll still put that Illusion color under the brow though. It is pretty. I think that's cool. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I have a liner for this, and I think it's called Electric. It's a Victoria Beckham. I could use Orchid. That would be really pretty. That one, I believe, is currently on her website. Or if you want to go with the, like I said, you could use Seafoam, which is on the website. I think that's one of my favorite Victoria Beckham liners, which is interesting given I'm not a pastel person. But on shop.com, you can get those discontinued summery ones, and this one is called Cherry Blossom. So I want to see how this looks. Obviously, the Seafoam would be probably the best, but I like the idea of doing these kind of blocking. And I'm just going to carry that over. She's one of the ones, Victoria Beckham, that you have to watch shop.com, because they often will have stuff on there that is not on her website or is sold out on her website. I guess they give different inventory. I'm going to grab the little sponge on the end just to work that out a little bit. That actually is perfect with that. That's gonna, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I think it's gonna photograph really cool. So yeah, we have Spring has vomited on my face. I'm gonna lock it in with my all-nighter spray from Urban Decay. This is in the watermelon one. And then we need to do lashes. So what do I want to do with lashes? I'm actually just gonna grab the new Prada, because I really like it. It fans them out. It's not overwhelming, since these are spring looks. You don't want something crazy overwhelming or impactful. But it works really well. I could also do, Pat McGrath has some great colored ones, but I'm just going to do this Prada Black. I do like this product a lot. This and the Lisa Eldridge are two new mascaras that I really like. My all-time favorites are Pat McGrath and YSL, but these are really beautiful. They're a different kind of mascara. They're more of lighter, kind of more separated. They're not as intense. You certainly could build them up if you wanted them to be. Good. What do we think? Spring vomited all over my face. Yeah. Okay, so if you like this, consider shopping my links, following along, going on Instagram and YouTube, and Unsolicited Advice. And I'm gonna put in the videos of the looks and the pictures, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.